Okay, we are going to be building an instant quoter. So we're going to build the second offer for our to our residential construction companies, and this is basically what we're going to offer them first in order to 10x their marketing efforts. So this is going to be one of the biggest steps in it, but it's also going to be a couple other things that that offer is made up of. But let's just quickly walk through what this workflow is supposed to do. I ended up visualizing this out a couple weeks ago. I never really actually added Airtable hookups or pretty much any quotes at all. Yeah, no prompts at all. So we really are just going to be building on essentially a template and actually making it work. So it's going to take a webhook submission from Airtable, which I have right here. When this form is submitted, it will send it over here, and then that's when we will start manipulating it. So the quoting agent will have a host of tools. It's going to basically use different understandings of real-time data to create a realistic timeline and price quote for the customer, which will then be able to be emailed to them. So it goes through here, it creates a quote, then it's going to be stored into different types of fields, which will then be fed into an HTML template, which will be branded to whatever construction company wants to buy this. And then it will alert the construction company owner. It'll alert him and basically say, hey, new quote, is this, he's going to quickly read over it, is this one okay? And he'll say yes or no. And if he says no, he'll give reasons why it's not good, send it to a revision agent, which will revise, and this loop will keep going until the construction manager says good to go. And once he says good to go, it will then store that quote and create a new customer into the construction company CRM, and then it will finally send that quote to the customer. So the order of operations right now is to figure out what database I could connect to if I need to build one that has real-time pricing data for labor hours and for pricing materials. I think I found a couple of potentially free construction databases we can connect to, but for the purposes of this, I'm really just going to be building it to make a really strong demo showcase. The man-hour costs and the labor or the material pricing costs just need to be accurate enough to where a construction manager will see the ad or the video of it, and they'll say that's cool and it's decently accurate. When it actually comes to building this for a client, by that time we are going to have access to, whatever is the industry standard materials and pricing database. So let's do it. So we're going to come over here to ChatGPT, and we're going to essentially say, we're going to do a deep research prompt. Now that you understand certain construction company pricing data points, I need you to create a faux data sheet, or at least data so I can copy it into an Airtable and allow this demo auto quoter workflow to work. It is not important that the data in it is up to date and completely accurate with 2025 pricing for materials. It is more accurate that the prices reflect general truths among residential construction companies and how they price and the material costs for them. This should be a very comprehensive database, and it should be the one source of truth for the quoting agent. The geographic region, okay, we'll say Pacific Northwest. What project type should it include? Most common residential construction projects. Do you want unit costs? Should I include labor rate costs, equipment, or markups? and overhead markups and subcontracting costs, such as, I'm kind of building this with in mind of the first construction company, the first client that we are building for. We're building a master scheduler system for them, but I've gotten to know that business really close, the kind of their capabilities with their crew. So I'm kind of building with that in mind. All right, I will check back once it is complete. Actually, is there something we can do in the meantime? No, I want to get data going through. Yeah, maybe we get just data going through right now. So let's do define below, require a specific output, system message. Yes, 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 yes. Expression. We do minimum prompting. You are a quoting agent working for a residential construction company. It is your job to analyze data from a Airtable form submission. To analyze data from an Airtable form submission containing customer-filled info on a new project they want done, and generate a accurate initial timeline. We'll do generate an accurate potential timeline plus pricing quote for their project. There's a lot of creative things we can do with this. So we could do like the very just simple fill in HTML template and send it to them. But what I would really like to do is make it a lot more visual. Add timelines, add add the quotes, potentially in the future even create an API call to some image generation service to generate an image of their final project. That could be cool, actually. That'd be cool for the demo. My this is a camping mustache and my face is so dry, so I'm gonna do some magic. Oh, very nice, very nice, very professional. Okay, deep research is underway. What was I doing? We were prompting. I think for the let's just go ahead and talk like customers input some data with projects they want on the form. AI assistant generates a very visual quote template, the estimated timeline, price, and some images attached to the email. Stable Diffusion generates stuff imagery. Stable Horde is a completely free community-run API. Sample curl, and our thing is ready for paste into Airtable. Doing a lot of things at once here. Okay, data, pricing data. We're gonna fucking delete all these. Let's now paste, continue. Okay, well, we got the pricing thing set up. Now we need to go Porsche. Stable Diffusion. So I need a implementing this step into the n8n workflow. And let's do after the quoting agent, sure. Should be a HTTP request node, I'm pretty sure. generate images. Should be a post request. The URL is this. And header should be content type. Send headers, name, content type, value, application / JSON. I don't know. I'd be very surprised if this works. Project description as a prompt. Architect sketch style of a new deck for a country home. Yeah, I doubt this will work, but we'll see. Outstanding issues. What are the outstanding issues? Deactivate. Actually, no, we don't have to deactivate this anymore. Oh no, we don't need... I need a new Airtable credential. I will pause, I'll be right back. Okay, we got that set up. We are all good. We got the lead gen base, made a new access token for it. And we're gonna do get, or let's say search. Search is good because we want it to return everything. Cool, and then quote storage. I think there should be, we want this to be auto base, instruction, requested project quote should go there. Cool, save. Okay, let's see if this works now. Change this with a manual trigger. Trigger manually. Bring that boy over here. And we're going to execute workflow. The resource you're requesting could not be found. Okay, we're going to go to stable Horde bandwidth. Stable UI is a web user interface designed to generate, save, view images using Stable Diffusion with the goal of being able to provide Stable Diffusion to anyone for 100% free. Love that. Crowdsource distribution, a cluster. So let's, maybe we want register an account. Aidan at Optimums. Oh no, do not share this with anyone. Uh-oh. Okay, I thought before I just build it all without actually showing you guys what I'm doing, I'll walk you through what I kind of just did to make this work. So I had to go and generate an API key. Don't worry, I'm going to, or I should say don't worry to myself. I'm going to change this, but I just went to stablehorde.net, which is open source way of using Stable Diffusion, and you just put in a username and submit a key, or give you a key. I then had ChatGPT generate me a curl header right here, which means you just go to, say we're in a new HTTP request. If I don't want to fill out all of this stuff, you just go import CURL or curly, and it'll kind of map it for you. So now I did it, and it basically is now in queue. Apparently this means that the request of modern kitchen remodel blueprint isometric view is now in queue, and there's the ID. So now we have to set a poll. Let's say get image. We'll say request image. So now ChatGPT is saying we need to, I don't really care what it's saying. Create a CURL for this new HTTP request. And we'll go from there. Of course, URL. You want to replace API keys, fine, but then actually maybe it's not fine. Add header API key check. Okay, so that's where we need to change it from check. Instead of that, it needs to check this ID, and that needs to be no space. And then we get this, Okay, so we just I got it working pretty much, or the image has been generated. So let's say we've requested the image and here's the ID, and then we take that image ID, which I think I want to change to something, whatever. Anyway, so it now basically this is where we get the image, and I went to this URL, which I'll just go ahead and paste in again. And remember, the prompt was, I don't even know if I told you, modern kitchen remodel blueprint isometric view, and then model stable diffusion. But we go into here. Wow! Boom. There we go. So now somehow we can embed this into the HTML template, but I need to kind of better set this up because I want to play with it a bit. So let's find first where our ID is. So our ID ends with BF. So we want that to be here. I'm just curious if that still will generate. Okay, cool. So it still will do the same. Okay, so now we can play with, we can actually have this on a poll time too, in case it's not ready. Okay, so we'll have a request image, and then we'll have another one that's basically waiting for if it's done or not. I'm going to have a poll, or it'd be more of a if. So I'll go boom. It'll be, so if it's false, then we'll go and do it again. But we'll do a we'll do like a wait. Five seconds, I like that. Wait 5 seconds for it, and then this will be image generated. So image generated, so if it's false, then we should go there, or if it's false, it should go there. If it's true, then it should get the image. And this is our, I like to do sticky notes, but we do have to build it out a bit better. So this needs to go back to checking and polling if it's working, which I think we can just import this curl. Check ID. Okay, cool. So let's say execute, and it should say something like done. Finished 1. So what happens, what can we drag into here? If finished 1 is equal to 1, then that's true. Why is that wrong? Oh, it needs to be number. Simple enough. So if that's equal to 1, then we go to get image, which will be right here. JSON ID, we got to remap that, which should be, move my face here, go to this ID, it's because I changed the name of it. And then it should have the URL here, cool. And yeah, so that is the logic there. So now what we can do is we're going to put that into here, and we are going to change that for that. So we want to have the initial quoting logic happen. Okay. Oh, I did not mean to do that. Initial quoting logic. Let's move this a little bit further out. So we'll somehow map that in. but we want to set this up to where it will generate a prompt for an image generation, and then also the price. So it should have a structured output parser, which do we have yet? Nope, we don't. We should have a structured output parser, and this should be quote plus image prompt. Okay. But because I want this to look real good and look real nice, we'll have that be there. We'll put sticky note here and say and also we should make that green. Okay, this will be quoting plus image prompt generation. Just because I like to have more documentation, we'll say. Okay, so let's actually configure the prompt for this guy. Okay, so we did some rough tasks. We're going to have two different sections which say, or one section for sure, which will be image prompting guideline, because I want all the images to be prompted in the similar way. We're going to go over to ChatGPT and we are going to say, put that in. Asked, I want to populate the image prompting guidelines section in order to make all image prompts standardized. In what style should and instruction template would be best for ensuring customer excitement when they see the image? Okay, let's see. Boom. All right, I mean, I think it's honestly basic enough to work with. What I want to do now, what we need to do is we need to figure out the structure that we want for the output parsing. And this step is really important. And actually, I think I want to do an automatically fixing parser. This guy is really smart. Basically, it removes ever there being an error for improper syntax, because if this guy outputs a JSON structure that's a little bit different, it would break the workflow, but now it would then basically just send it to here, which would then query the model again to just fix the original model output and just tweak it a bit to where it fits the structured output parser. Okay, well, let's start by generating. I now need to generate a HTML template, a highly visual one, so I can decide what structured output parser JSON objects I need. We could also just start with the structured output parsing first. Actually, let's do that. Let's start with the structured output parser. I need to dictate what the model outputs. There needs to be a string output for the image prompt, but for the actual quote, I need help configuring the structured output parser, telling the model exactly what to output, and those values will then be fed into the highly visual HTML template. Let's see what this does. Okay. Output requirements. Okay, now let's go and generate a quick response for the. We got to first put this in here, then we got to go here, copy link, boom, 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 boom. Oh, we got to get data in the funnel. So let's say, based on this form, create a fake user response. Kitchen remodel. Kitchen. Project zip code. How large? 240. I think this form is really lame. And actually, in order to actually generate a more realistic, what are some more questions that I can add to this form that would actually generate a more accurate image of what the customer is envisioning and help generate a more accurate quote? Yeah, that was a really lame form. So we're gonna go ahead and update it. Okay. Okay, I went ahead and added new data. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's say now generate a fake response. Okay, well, let's see what happens once we submit this. I don't know if I ever set up the let's go to the data. Requested projects. Okay, there we are. Let's get rid of these. So I'll show you guys how to configure yeah, I don't have one at all. So we're gonna have to add a new trigger when form is submitted. So we're gonna set up the webhook that sends to n8n once a form is submitted. It's really easy. I'm gonna say it's come on form submission to n8n. When form is submitted, select table, requested project, select form. Okay, there's the form, and then we'll say right here run script. And then we'll go over here to chat and we'll say create me a script for a Airtable webhook. And before we do that, we're going to need to get the endpoint. Here is the post request. Input record area is not async. Yeah, I just had AI. I basically just pasted in that I had an error. Record async is not a function because it made a stupid script. So I repasted it, and this looks like a much better payload, or I mean script, and it is because the test ran successfully. Now we have our data. We're going to come up here and pin it, and now we can start working with it. So let's set these fields. So now we are going to set all of these data fields in the body. Execute. Cool. Let's go ahead and save, and let's get this in the user message. Finish level, and then start time. Boom. Okay, let's see what happens. Insufficient quota? Oh, come on. It's because I wasn't using OpenRouter. Let's see what happens with 4.1 because it's my favorite. We're going to put that guy here, and then we're also going to give this guy that. Okay, what do you got for me? Looks like we have some cool tasks. Okay, well, let's quote or get the image prompt set right here. I don't know why I just did that. It's really annoying. Oh, it's because it wasn't on expression. Image prompt is a stunning modern farmhouse featuring white cabinets, matte black hardware, natural wood island. Cool. Okay, let's execute that. Okay, let's wait. It's kind of a pointless step in that. Let's see if it's generated. Resource you're requesting cannot be found. Oh, it's because I didn't map the ID right. Okay, check ID. Check ID. Execute. Okay, it's finished, so it's equal to 1, which means it should be true, which means we can then go to here. Oh, the wait's kind of annoying. Okay, get image. Let's see what we got. That's really ugly. I'm just kind of curious what would happen if we put this same prompt into ChatGPT, because I know it'd be a lot better. See, that's much better. So much better. I might make a API request to OpenAI instead. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see what OpenAI can do. Oh, it's literally there's literally generated an image. I still really like this whole image generation logic. I like it so much that we're gonna keep it over here for free image generation logic. But for quality image generation logic, we're gonna use a 4.0 quality. Spelled that wrong. Let's see. Cool. And then we will go ahead and start building the HTML. Okay, so based on this guy's output JSON, we're a highly visual template. Based on the following output JSON, excluding the image generation prompt, generate an HTML template that can slot in all of the JSON output. Also, make the HTML template highly visual and branded towards an imaginary construction company. I'm also curious how we're going to be able to use this in the final template. We'll see. I don't know what image hosting is like. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, let's see what it came up with. Invalid syntax. Well, we know the best debugger. Feed that right back into chat. Why? Cool. Well, there's the template. Let's actually start filling in data now. I should be able to see it, but I don't know why. We don't have it for some reason. Is it because we have this there? Because there's no path. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, get the hell out of here. Okay, the reason why that was like that is because it didn't have a path directly back to the quoting agent. If you put this here, it then doesn't understand that it could, because then it could technically route it to here, but you get rid of that, and yeah, now you can see everything back here. Okay, let us try to fill in some stuff. Here's a customer message that it remembered to put in. The tasks, which should be an array. I don't really know how that's going to work, but we'll see. Yeah, so let's just have the agent. I knew this would kind of happen. This is just these arrays are hard for the HTML template. I want it to be more straightforward. I want which means that I don't want so many variables to be generated by the quoting agent. Instead, it should be outputting like 4 to 5 different variables, a list of different tasks that need to be done, as well as a quick breakdown of the cost of tasks in its own string variable, and then a final summary costs and time. Instead of having it output all different tasks and all different costs for each of those tasks, it's hard to put that into an HTML template because the amount of tasks that it outputs varies. Instead, can we do a much more simplified string version of all the tasks, and then string value of, with those tasks, their breakdowns, and then finally like the summaries of like the summary costs. This should be a lot more simplified. A lot more simplified. And then I'm curious what stylized template it made, but this one should better fit. Let's just execute up until there. Okay. That's a super simple template, and I'll probably have it regenerate, but project visual. Okay, so how do we get, I'm curious about is, which I will ask AI. I used a ChatGPT create a image node to create the image because the free one was looking a little rough. Is there a way to easily embed this ChatGPT image into the HTML template? Is that possible at all? Okay, a couple of hours have passed. I had something to do, but I went ahead and quickly finished up the workflow. Sort of. I'm almost finished it up. So I had to go back, and I was just using the free. I think this is Stable Diffusion, the way that it's generating. I'm gonna switch it out for a better model because it comes through a little not finished. You'll see what I mean. You can tell it looks like it was generated by like first gen image generation. So I'm gonna go and poke around to see if there's a better free open source image generation model I can connect to. But it will get the point across of what this kind of workflow does. So I'm just gonna run it through because I have to map the last thing is just storing the lead information. So I just kind of want to map it through, and then I'll show you kind of a full run through once it's done. Okay, just gonna map this stuff really quick. You can do it straight from the set fields. So we will store the customer name, customer phone number, and their email. We'll do the actual HTML thing, and then we'll just do a quick summary of the project, which I also made the agent output. It should be right here. Project summary. So now that that is mapped, we can store that. Cool. And I'm just going to go ahead and it should have popped up in here. Yeah, there it is. But I'm just going to go ahead and clear it so we can have one clean run through where it shows you kind of how it goes. So, saved. Yeah, all right. So let's watch it. It'll actually send me an email once it's done. But we're still using just that first data run through. I made this interval wait 15 seconds, and that's about how long it takes to generate an image. I had the template. I kind of played around with it to make it just look a bit more pretty. Simplified it a lot to where, you know, it's not generating a bunch of tasks that needs to be done. The quotes are pretty straightforward, and there's a lot more you can do. If I was to invest a lot more time into this, which I will, I'll get the quotes looking a lot better. But nice, love that. Silly me, I didn't map it right. I just had to put the template back in. Anyway, we'll execute that and we'll see what came through. Dope, that's a sneak peek. Boom. Project preview. Tasks overview, demolition of kitchen, upgrading electrical, blah, blah, blah. A quick cost breakdown. Estimated total project 117, 8 to 12 weeks. Yeah, so that is kind of the full quote breakdown. I will be adding more to this workflow, but yeah, that was kind of a cool live build. Yeah.